Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Casey Stadium for the 21 and under women's preliminary final here at Indoor Cricket's National Championships. I'm Cameron Walter alongside Gary Lowe. Gary, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, good sir. How are you?
Very well. It's Queensland up against Victoria. Big game, the sudden death, and why don't you tell us about the players who are tasked with winning it for their state?
Yeah, we'll start off with Victoria, may as well, since they're the home state. That's led by Paris Rafferty, Keely Pace, Alyssa Humphreys, Jordan Watson, Jess Adams, Natuli Patera, Georgia Peel, who's had a really good tournament, by the way, young Georgia. Julia Carruthers, that rounds out the Victoria side. The Queensland 21 ladies look exactly like this. Zeldine Barnard is the captain. Katrina Dixon. Just in the last game we were broadcasting, there was a couple of Dixons involved in that one, and now we've got another one. Blaine Gibbs, Lily Avizio, Shaq Frisk, Gillian Chambers, Kirsten Davey, and Stacey Rockcliffe.
Bit of trickery there on the team sheet.
Yes,
we actually thought Blaine Gibbs had been rubbed out, but she's on there twice.
That's what caught me a little bit by surprise as well. As Blaine Gibbs was coming off the court for all the folks at home, I said, Blaine Gibbs, how come you're not playing? She said, I am playing. I'm like, oh, well, I'm a guess.
Okay, the umpire for the match is Ben Brading from New South Wales. And as you said, this is sudden death. This is the winner will take their place in the final tomorrow. Now opening the batting for Queensland, Kirsten Davey and Stacey Rockcliffe. And we're underway. Watson the bowler for Victoria. It's the yet another Victorian side featuring in finals here on their home courts. Gary?
Yeah, they're doing quite well, are the Vics. Had a couple of losses though. Just recently in the women's match that we saw, the Open women's match that is. I actually had the Vics potentially down for a men's national championship, a women's national championship in the Opens and the 21s, but lucky I haven't put any of my hard-earned on it, mate, because at the moment it's anyone's tournament and championship. Very, very tight indeed.
Of course, as we talked about, the winner go on to tomorrow's grand final, which will be against South Australia, the defending champions. They're over the single now. There's the future of not just women's indoor cricket here, Lowy, but a lot of these players' feet are in the pathway. We might see them playing in the WBBL or the WNCL or even for Australia.
Yeah, that's a very good call by umpire Ben Brading. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I've got full confidence in it, particularly South Australia. I'm not sure what's in the water down there, but they just seem to be churning out talent, not only in the indoor format, but also in the outdoor format. See what the umpire calls. Oh,
tight.
That was tight on all aspects. I wasn't sure if it hit the three tape, and I wasn't sure if Stacey Rockcliffe made good her ground, but she certainly did. But yeah, it's been really pleasing to see, each year it just seems to be somehow getting better and better and better. And then when you think kind of, okay, well, this is kind of as good as it's going to get. You can't do anything more than what you do on an indoor court. And these people out here just continually do it. It's quite amazing. And a testament to all the work that the states and territories do back home before they come to the championships.
Yeah, certainly a lot of that. Second over now, the Victorian captain, Paris Rafferty.
And again, in the last game that we broadcast, which was the Open Women's game, there was a Rafferty involved in that one, and now we have the other version.
The other version.
So, yeah, very much family affair.
Oh, it's a chance. It falls safe. We've talked about it a couple of times throughout our broadcast, but the wider courts, just that extra space for these chances to fall into, Lowy, and Queensland riding their luck. Dot ball.
Yeah, sometimes in indoor cricket you just need to respect that a good delivery's been bowled and block it out if you can't do too much with it. So that's good mature batting. Tight call. A judge leg side. Bit of a pressure release there. I mean, if that ball's called good, all of a sudden it's a third ball. Very different environment that the game's in, but that's been let go.
I think little chance. One of the, I guess, hallmarks of youthful finals games, so age-limited, underage divisions, is that more often than not, both sides have to feel their way into the game. It's unusual that you have, particularly in the 21 and under girls, where there are, in fact, a lot of younger girls, not just sort of the 18 to 21 players.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of inexperience out there, so nerves plays a huge role in a sudden death game. So the legs. You see the loose delivery, nerves just playing their part early in the game. It's just a matter of seeing which team or which players settle first.
And here is Georgia Peel, the young lady that I was talking about while we were introducing the teams. She's really been the pick.
Talk to me, number cruncher.
Oh, mate, she's I was looking at it. I might have to go back and rehash, but as of about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, Georgia Peel was the only Victorian player in the top 10 statistically wise for this division, but she's certainly head and shoulders above most of her colleagues in terms of the Victorians, averaging 16.25 with the bat, which is a good 3 above the next best. And even with the bowling, she's taken the second most wickets. She's taken 6. Only Keely Pace has beaten her there with 7. So both with bat and ball in hand has been found to be a very, very useful addition to this Victorian side. And can I say, with a bit of work done on the old hair, that's a pretty serious hairdo, mate. You and I are the last people on earth who should be talking about hair. We've got the Q-ballectomy.
Absolutely.
But, I think it's called a braid. I don't know. I've never had hair, but I think it's called a braid. But it looks pretty slick.
As a father of a daughter, I can tell you, prior to being a father of a daughter, I didn't have much appreciation for the effort that goes into to hair, and a lot of the young ladies do put a huge amount of effort in for big games like this.
You'd almost be a professional at that kind of stuff.
I'm terrible at it. I just don't understand how it's supposed to work.
Wear a hat, yeah.
I can brush it, but I don't know. Oh, look at that! The wicket falls. I'm not sure that Davey realised what had happened there. She set off for the run. Here it is on the replay. The first wicket for the match.
I think it's only just hit the stump, Cam.
Yeah, this will be a nerve settler. Yeah, it's just chopped it back onto the leg stump there, maybe even the base plate.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what material these stumps are made out of, but it could be one of those where the sound just doesn't travel well, so she wasn't sure what had happened. But whether she was sure or not, it was out. The first wicket falls. Georgia Peel well bowled. Here's Nathuli Pereira.
And now I don't want to talk about boring things on a very good game, but I'm a bit of an indoor cricket nerd. But it's interesting that you say that about the sound of the stumps.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest, I won't say a pet hate, but it is something that the umpires are really aware of. So those stumps with a good bit of fielding. Gee, that was sharp. Hit straight back to the wicketkeeper there. No run for Queensland. You'd be a mad woman if you did. But those stumps with the kind of rubber mouldings at the bottom, they make kind of little to no noise as well. And it also depends on exactly what you said, the construct of the physical stump itself. Sometimes an average umpire will only just listen for the noise that the stumps make.
Oh, an average umpire.
Yes. Yes, good umpires need to be able to use all their senses and be able to look as well, particularly in an open men's and an open women's game, because the receivers have just got soft, silky hands.
Yeah. Gee, that's a great piece of fielding there from Paris Rafferty.
Yeah, good read off the bat. So if they take that ball and they just whip those bails off so softly,
you won't hear a thing.
Not a thing. So you need to be mindful of that as well. So Yeah, it is good if the stumps are nice and loud, but those stumps are there. They look beautiful. And that's twice. Look at that. Good fielding. Paris Rafferty, the captain.
Well, that's 2 runs she saved just there. I'm usually not a fan of front court fielders leaping because a lot of them try to preempt. If, in fact, she is correctly anticipating and stays on the ground when she should, then that's certainly very impressive. And I think, there you go, she is almost out there, but she is anticipating. It's not just a blind jump, which you see a lot, particularly in underage divisions. But that's the first pair, all done and dusted. Both sides still feeling their way into the game. 21 runs. I think Queensland will certainly be happy with that on the board. I don't think Victoria will be too stressed about it either. Just the 1 wicket, though, courtesy of Georgia Peel, bowling Kirsten Davey off the last ball of her over. And, well, 21 is probably around about par in terms of 6-ball over cricket. What do you think it is in the context of their tournament?
Yeah, it's right on the lower end of what I'd call par.
For this team?
For this team, yeah, specifically. So for this tournament, for this division, 21's pretty much where it's at. 20 to 25 possibly. For this team, though, particularly against this team, as in Queensland against Victoria, Queensland have racked up scores of 118, 125. So they've gone pretty big, but there was one game where it really went against.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, debacle.
Unbelievable. Debacle. Georgia Peel had the ball thrown to her. Check it out here on the replay. The Queensland batters were in Nowheresville. Ball's gone straight to the receiver, made no mistake. Georgia Peel has just, well, not only thrown to the wrong end, but thrown it high and wide. And cricket was the loser on the day. Humphreys. The batters, by the way, Katrina Dixon, who faced that first ball, and Blaine Gibbs.
Who's most definitely playing.
Yes, there she is.
So before that comedy of errors occurred, just going through some of those scores, the Queenslanders were pretty healthy, putting on some reasonably big totals. As we see Blaine Gibbs hit that ball into the side netting for 2 runs. But there was one game that went against the grain where Victoria beat Queensland 100-72. So that anomaly doesn't sit well with me because I like my numbers.
Well, I think you'll find the lineups in that game could have been drastically different, which explains the anomaly. If that helps your number OCD,
it does, mate. Yeah, I'm a mess.
Well, that'll be a no ball. Swatted away by Gibbs. They just stay in their crease though, so they claim the 2 runs from the no ball itself.
And when the no ball's that slow, you can almost, as Blaine Gibbs has done, almost use it as a bit of a free hit. If you can try and get it to the back net, then so be it.
It's driven straight into the fielder for 2 as it finds the net, and a good start for Queensland. 11 runs from it.
Yeah, so Paris Rafferty there at the front. She's the ball to her is a bit like a moth to a flame. She's in all the action there in the front court. So we've got Tony Payhigh, part of the coaching team here in Victoria.
Yeah, I've always said Pahi.
You know what? It could very well be.
Or Tony.
Well, my affectionate nickname for start that again. My affectionate nickname for him is T-Bone.
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 Yeah, Tony's been around a while. Player, coach, manager, you name it, he's done it.
Loves his indoor cricket. Has got it permanently inked on him. Did you know this?
I did know this.
Yes. Some World Series triumphs.
As a manager.
Yes. Yes, not as a player.
Yep. Both the leg side and a no ball. So shouldn't it be the preference of the umpire to call that no ball rather than leg side?
So if that ball lands past that crease, then it is a leg side.
So even if it's over her waist.
Oh, so it's over the waist?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Then no balls the call then.
It was probably touch and go. It looked no ball to me, but because the batter can play shot at it.
Yes.
It runs off it, not get out off it, the works.
Although, can I give you a sneaky umpire's trick that sometimes an umpire might do? Is if they're not sure it's a no ball, they'll call it a leg side. So that's their get out of jail free. Something, you know what I mean? I'm going to give it something if I'm not sure if it's a no ball.
Which is fine if the batter leaves it.
Yes, but if
but
they
not
hit
if they
it,
play a shot.
yes.
Yeah. And especially not if they get out from it.
That's right. And then that's when managers start walking down the sideline yelling at you.
Yes. Which they should never do, I say as a former manager, coach. I don't do that.
No.
I never did it. Anyone that says that I did can't prove it.
No, that's right. It's a big team of umpires over the next 2 weeks. I think 16 umpires that are being used. And a great deal of effort goes into it just as the players train and prepare for these national championships. I absolutely can promise and assure you that the umpires have done exactly the same. And they're very meticulous in their preparation. Even going as far as, it might sound a bit wacky, but their nutrition and their sleeping patterns and what they're doing. Because when they get up there, they need to be absolutely on their A-grade game. And, just a big congratulations to David Shepley and his team of umpires. I think they've been exemplary this week. And this game thus far has been no different.
So Carruthers starts with a leg side. He's following up from Keely Pace's over. Went for 10. And these two for Queensland are looking pretty comfortable, and it's come, it must be said, both from their own bat and, 8 runs worth of extras as well. So reasonably simple so far for Queensland, and they're looking like they're well on their way to a big total. Driven, misfielded. Oh, and a good regather there at the back sticks. That looked like it was going to find the side net after the misfield, but Peel had other ideas.
Yeah, very warmly acknowledged too by the crowd over to our left here, or camera left. As you're looking at it at home, Georgia Peel tracking down that ball.
Wonderful images coming to you courtesy of our broadcast partners, Sportscast Australia. Thanks to them for their continued work in bringing you the best indoor cricket in the world from Casey Stadium here in Cranbourne, Victoria. Not being a Victorian, Lowy, I wasn't sure how Cranbourne was pronounced. Like, is it Cranbourne? Like, how does this work?
Yeah.
And Brianna Binch, who obviously is Victorian, said it's just like Melbourne.
I suppose when you say it like that.
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah. Probably makes sense.
Yeah. And then I suddenly didn't feel so bad for questioning why everybody abroad calls Melbourne Melbourne.
Yes. Probably all the pieces of the puzzle are coming together,
yes.
aren't they?
Life suddenly makes sense. Now, Victoria in a slight spot of bother here. Just with the way this is going, they could find this game, get away from them real quick. Jessica Adams bowling now, the final over to this pair. It's a no ball off the pitch plus runs. So that's 4, and this pair looking pretty ominous here, looking good for possibly 40.
Yeah, not only with the no ball and the additional 2, which is the 4 runs as you've said, plus a re-bowl as well being the 8th over. So very costly little delivery indeed.
Yeah, it's a good piece of fielding there, just falling short there of Watson, and a good turn and throw, but Gibbs home.
Yeah, if Queensland really starts sneaking up into the 40s, that's a very ominous total indeed. Again, Dixon waiting on that ball, waiting for it, and played that ball right underneath their eyes. Very, very good display of how to play a very tricky shot.
Played and missed that time from Gibbs. Misreading the length and sneaking under the bat. Still 3 to come. Luddite, can you do me a favour and turn the brightness up on your laptop?
Oh, yeah, you hate that, don't you?
It's really bothering me.
Yeah. How do I do that, mate?
Over to that one.
That one?
Next one. Next one.
This one?
No, the one with a 1 next to it. The notification one. Yeah, look, this one. Easy for Blaine Gibbs. Another 2, and they move to 37. Hey, presto, the lights are on.
Actually, you did mention that when we were down in Adelaide last time, didn't you?
I did.
Said, is there any reason why your screen's on a dim setting? I said, no. And you said, good, give it here. Wang, whacked it up to 100. There you go.
There's 2 from the final ball. 39 for the partnership. A pretty comfortable one, an almost chanceless partnership from Katrina Dixon and Blaine Gibbs. And Queensland have moved to 60 after 2 and are looking the goods. Victoria will have to turn this around, and soon. If they want to rein this Queensland side into a total, they will feel much better about chasing. If you're just joining us, it's a 21 and under women's preliminary final. These two sides in a sudden death matchup to see who will take on South Australia in the big dance, the 21 and under women's grand final. South Australia, the defending champions, and the team to beat. These two have had some fairly even tussles, fairly even on the ladder, and well, for one team, spot in the final. For the other, it's the end of the tournament. We're here thanks to playcricket.com.au, where you can punch in your postcode and find your local centre. Now, Lilia Vizio and Gillian Chalmers are batting now for Queensland. Paris Rafferty, the Victorian captain, has the ball in hand, and we are back underway. Little chance there early, but fended down well.
Yeah, I do like this move from the Victorians here, and I would be shocked if we didn't see Georgia Peel bowl in this batting partnership as well. So I think they're subscribing to the theory of let's throw some firepower at Queensland here and try and win this arm wrestle. So that's good. And quite right in terms of the final standings in this division, how there's very little separation between them. Queensland and Victoria both won and lost the same amount of games. The only thing separating them was the skins difference, and the for and against, which is pretty telling, you know, of how close these two sides are. But that for and against, you know, Queensland with a 717 for and 721 against, which is a differential of -4. Victoria 647 for, 860 against, so minus 213. So that's really where the stories are.
Yeah, and look, that I mean, that's a sign they just give up too many runs with their bowling, and they need everything to go right, and that's looking to be the case here at the moment. Haven't scored enough runs either, so they're up against it, Victoria, but finals cricket, funny things can happen. Paris Rafferty has just bowled 2 leg sides in a row. Just adds to the increasing tally of runs that have come in the form of extras.
Queensland 7 runs from this third batting partnership thus far. Last delivery, Rafferty comes in. It's going to be caught leg side again. 69 the Queensland total now, and I'm sure Rafferty would have hoped to have maybe done a little bit better than what she's done. 16 runs coming from her 2 overs. She's a better bowler than that.
No, 8 of them from extras.
Yeah, somewhat ill-disciplined from her. And Georgia Peel.
You've called it.
Yeah,
yes, he is.
That's
well, nope.
Oh no, the
umpire's deceiving you.
The umpire's put in the wrong player.
He has. Hopefully, he will correct it. It is Keely Pace that's doing the bowling. I think I might just do this for him.
Too good. Too good. For those unaware, Cameron Walters got full control of this scoreboard at the moment. Man, that's dangerous. If the Victorians find out you've got that ability, mate, you might start whacking in some no balls and all this kind of stuff, prop up their score a little bit.
Why would I do that? Well, I have no reason to do that.
No, that's true. So we'll have to let the umpire know that he owes you a lemonade or a sun-kissed.
Very age appropriate.
Yes, indeed.
Actually, haven't had a sung test in a long time. I feel like I need one.
Mate, do it. Shout yourself. Change your life. So this Queensland outfit, they're really charging along here. 73 is the total, and they don't look like getting out anytime soon. I'd really love to see Georgia Peel come on and bowl in the next 2 overs. I can't really stress that enough. I just feel that if Queensland get away now in this batting partnership,
well,
it's going to be pretty grim.
Yeah, Victoria will obviously try and chase down whatever Queensland score, but they don't say batting someone out of the game for nothing.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
you bat first, you put on 120 plus. It's hard to lose from there. It happens, but not that often. And at the moment, it's just way too comfortable for Queensland. Pace's final ball. Gets 2. And another 2 to the total. 18 is the pair, 78 is the total. If you're a Queensland fan, you'd be pretty happy right now. What do Victoria need to do to turn it around? Lowy.
Georgia Peel.
No, it won't be Georgia Peel. It's going to be Alyssa Humphries, who bowled a couple of no balls in her first over, wicketless. Again, really has only been 1 wicket. That was from Georgia Peel. I'll need a few more, Victoria. Here's Humphries. Starts well. Beats the bat of Vivizio. Yeah, the trickery of being in an indoor centre that has no skyline. Well, they do, but a lot looking up and up. But the trick of being inside, I don't realise the time. We started this broadcast by saying good afternoon. It's actually 20 to 7.
We have got no understanding of what's happening in the outside world, mate.
We're cocooned here in the world of indoor cricket. As are these two in this tussle, the sudden death. Struggle to make their way to the grand final. And it has to be said, Queensland getting the better of Victoria at the moment. A lot of unforced errors from Victoria, particularly in the way of extras. Not necessarily, well, they haven't really come up with any direct hit. There's been some good movement in the field, but unable to convert. There goes another one. Well, I'm going to have to do a count now, Lowy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 26 runs worth of extras.
Yeah, and look, we're not even through the third batting partnership. That's
chance at the top. A good piece of fielding, but not quick enough. Chalmers is home.
Yeah. Needed to be a direct hit, and even if it was a direct hit, I'm not too sure. It's a smart bit of fielding, though, to get the mitt to it. But again, no wickets here, and Queensland continue the charge. And we could be looking at a Queensland total of 120, 130, if things continue in this manner.
A single to finish. 7 runs from the over. They move to 25.
Yes, and the number 12, that's Lily Avizio, spelled A-W-Y-Z-I-O. Prior to the broadcast, I thought, you know what, I've been calling her name out for the last 4 or 5 years. I might go over there and actually ask her how to pronounce it.
It's about time you did some work.
Yes, I agree. And she said, Avizio. And I said, are you sure? She said, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I said, okay.
Well, I dare say she's the foremost authority in this building on how to pronounce it.
Absolutely.
Pereira is the bowler now. Nathuli Pereira, that is, from Victoria. Bowling her second over. And Victoria needs something special. They need a spark. Need a couple of wickets back to back. They've saved Georgia Peel, your player to watch, Lowy, until the last pair.
Yeah, and look, Keely Pace is the other one. And Keely Pace was bowled out too, but she was in this batting partnership. So, you're looking at Paris Rafferty started off, good. Keely Pace, good. Some may argue even better. Keely Pace has taken 7 wickets in the tournament thus far. which is the highest of any Victorian in this division. So that's great. So I also just think Georgia Peel would have complemented it quite nicely. By the same token, this Queensland batting partnership's 31, and that's with Victoria firing 2 rockets into the Queensland attack, you know. So if you're doing what you can and you're bowling some of your star bowlers and the Queenslanders are still scoring 31 for the skin, well, unfortunately, there's not a great deal you can really do about that. This is an outweigh of talent on one side of the ledger.
One ball to come. Victoria looking down the barrel of a pretty big total here. Unless they can produce a major turnaround. It's more leaping work there from Paris Rafferty. Does a great job in keeping it to a single, but they'll need to do more than that, the Vicks. 33 runs on the board, the second successive 30-plus partnership for Queensland, and they are marching towards an ominous total now here in the 21 and under women's preliminary final. Coming to you live from Casey Stadium in Cranbourne, Victoria. I'm Cameron Walter with Gary Lowe. And the Indoor Cricket National Championships are coming to the pointy end, thanks to the long-time support of our ball supplier, Burley Seacombe. And coming out to bat now for Queensland, Zeldine Barnard and Shekinah Frisk. Now, Zeldine Barnard, I believe, missed last year's Nationals. From memory, it was some maybe shoulder surgery, I think. I can't quite remember, but that's my recollection. I did commentate with Zeldine, and she told the story, and just struggling to recall the detail. Can you confirm or deny?
Can't confirm or deny.
Yeah.
Look, I'm comfortable with what you said, and if that's of any value to you, I'm not sure that it is, but
if you're comfortable, I'm comfortable.
I'm very comfortable with it. I'm pretty sure you're right, but not 100% on it. I'm actually rather blown away that she's still eligible to be playing in under 21 girls. I feel like Zeldine Barnard has been playing
21 and number
20. So. She must be right on that cusp, I guess, because I feel like she's been playing, at a national level for the last 12 years.
Yeah. You're just getting old, Gary.
Yeah, maybe I am. Maybe I am.
So Jordan Watson started with 3 and has responded well with 2 dot balls to Shekinah Frisk. They're now on 3rd ball and they have to change the score here. Well, that's out. Zeldine Barnard out 3rd ball. She's questioning why it wasn't a leg side, and I'll tell you why, because it wasn't. Just take a look here on the replay, thanks to playcricket.com.au. Watch that ball just sneak in that line, and that will be out. 3rd ball, the non-striker, unless it is a no ball or a wide or a leg side, they have to continue. Well, they can't stop, basically, or turn around. And she did, and that's out. 2 to come. And run a chance at the top. Ball not coming out of hand right there for Jordan Watson. Throw off line.
She has a little smile there to Georgia Peel. The ball just not going into the mid. I think she probably had too much time. She was thinking about what she was going to do with it before it got there. Zeldine Barnard coming forward to that one. And I tell you what, when she hits the ball, it stays hit, Zeldine. She can really spank that Burley Seacombe to the back of the court. So be careful. You really need to be getting that line and length right on target. -1 though for Queensland in this batting partnership. So good start, Cam Walter for the Vicks.
Yeah, look, even that wicket alone has helped in terms of pegging it below the 120. If they can get even 1 or 2 more wickets, they're right back in the game, Victoria. That turns what was looking to be 120 into more like 100, 105. And that's something they can chase down. They need to maintain some pressure. And another leg side doesn't help in that case. And another one. Easy runs for Queensland now, erasing the 3rd ball wicket. punished. It's gone the journey and caught the side net, so 4 runs. Tell you what, there's you can't see him in your frame, ladies and gents, but there's a Queensland parent, I'm guessing, sitting right against the net down here with his camera, and you want to be careful. Someone might dive at that net and wipe him and his camera out.
Yes.
2 to come for Carruthers. Changing her approach. Tight one in terms of waist. Tucked away by Barnard. 4-2. And 1 to come now, and they're back on track. Talking like 120 was no longer even a possibility, but certainly is one here for the Queenslanders with 1 ball to come. Straight back. Barnard not even looking at the ball. All she did was watch her partner, who said a very definitive no. So it is a dot. 2 overs remain now with Queensland. Well, 104. Victoria need a couple of wickets here. Looks like they've saved Georgia Peel right until the end. So Jessica Adams will bowl the penultimate over. That will leave Peel to bowl the final over. Too full, too wide, put away by Barnard for 2.
It's a good delivery there, just moving away slightly. I actually thought that Adams' first over was better than what the figures say. She went for 12. Just had to check for myself that was correct. I thought her first over was pretty good, but the figures don't reflect that. So it'd be good to see her get a wicket here. I think she deserves it. Good bit of fielding too off her own bowling. The bowlers tend to do better fielding off their own bowling, don't they?
Why not? Statistical preservation.
You'll find that. So just getting just a hint of movement through the air is Adams. Just moving away slightly from the striker. Striker on this occasion is Zeldine Barnard. Shaq Frisk at the non-striker's end. Queensland 107. 2 deliveries remain in this 15th over.
So a leaping effort there from Adams. But, Peel had it covered. It's just a single. I note whenever I watch outdoor cricket broadcasts how often some particular commentators say on this or that occasion. You're falling into that trap, Logan. I'm going to start a tally. Oh, that was an opportunity. Gee, I'd be appealing for everything. Well, that was much tighter than that appeal that seemed to indicate.
The umpire gave me a bit of a heart attack. He kind of stood there for a bit. I thought, oh, hello, Vicar. Are you about to give this out? This would have been interesting. So, look, have Victoria stemmed the flow of runs that possibly could have moved on? Look, yeah, 110. If they can keep them to under 120.
Well, it's this over, isn't it? It's a big over, isn't it?
It is.
Huge, huge over.
120, you know what? You possibly can. I mean, they've scored 115 against South Australia earlier this week, and South Australia are the top dogs in this division. So they have done it. Again, a really salient point that you made earlier on was depends on the strength of that particular squad.
Yeah.
On that occasion.
Ding, ding. That's 2 good deliveries there from Peel. Again, though, unrewarded.
So they do have it in them, the Vics, to score a reasonably big total. And, you know, you're chasing, you're coming out second, you may as well throw the kitchen sink at it. And, you know, Georgia Peel, she has a chance to take a wicket in this final over.
That's very good bowling, isn't it? I tend to subscribe to your line of thinking, though, when it comes to when would have been the best time to bowl her. Early attacking. You have to attack when you're staring down the barrel of 120 plus, saving it for the last over. Especially when things like that can happen. So ball well above waist height, and get the no ball and an extra delivery. That makes the 120 mark a little bit easier. Everything looks like a chance, doesn't it? Barnard was home then, but just every delivery from Peel, with the exception of that no ball, I suppose, it looks like they're creating an opportunity.
Yeah, we'll just look at this replay here. Direct hits, you know, they're always pretty good. We'll just have a look here at the replay. Yeah, home, good call. I actually thought that there was an opportunity or a slight chance it could have been out. You were pretty confident, though, she was home. So
home all day.
Thank goodness I'm not umpiring.
Last ball of the innings, 115 on the board. Maybe it not be 120, but it's certainly an ominous total. There it is, 2 to finish. So Queensland have posted 117 runs, batting first in the 21 and under women's preliminary final against Victoria. What a total it is. And Victoria, well, they'll have to produce one of the best run chasers in this tournament so far if they are to take their place in the final, if they want to continue their tournament. If you're just joining us, I am Cameron Walter. With me is Gary Lowe. It's our pleasure bringing you this and indeed all the finals from Casey Stadium here in the city of Casey, in Cranbourne, Victoria. We're here thanks to Cricket Australia, our broadcast partners, Sportscast Australia, playcricket.com.au, and our ball supplier partner in Burleigh Seacombe. You see the Queensland side on the court now, using that Burleigh Seacombe with interesting little warm-up drill here, keeping the ball in the air with their hands. So their coach Katrina Teskey in there helping. Katrina Teskey, former Australian women's player.
Yeah, still a pretty handy player too.
Yeah, of many years. Been at a couple of World Cups. And isn't it good to see former Opens players back coaching in the underage divisions? Victoria, so you talked about a couple of their high run chases they've had, one of which included South Australia. Queensland, well, with 117, would be feeling pretty confident. What do you think Victoria's chances are here?
Yeah, you made a good point when you said have to be one of the biggest run chases of the tournament. Well, it'll have to be the biggest run chase of the tournament. 115 was the biggest one, so you're dead right.
Is that for this? For Victoria?
For Victoria,
yeah,
yes,
yep.
For Victoria. So they're going to have to come out here and really give it their best crack. The biggest run chase in this division was 135, which South Australia scored against Victoria. That was on Wednesday evening. So I lie, actually. South Australia put on 139. That was a bigger one against Queensland.
Yep.
So it's possible, perhaps not probable, but we're about to find out, I guess.
Stay with us as we do, ladies and gents. Alyssa Humphries and Keely Pace opening the batting for Victoria. Humphries faced that first delivery and got one from it. Kirsten Davey is the bowler for Queensland.
Well, you certainly wouldn't want to go anywhere because you'd be kicking yourself if you missed a run chase of this magnitude.
Yeah, that's right. Last year in Toowoomba, the junior, I think it was the 13 under boys, there was a 135 run chase, I think something like that. New South Wales reigning in Victoria in a 6-ball over comp. Just huge. Seen, I think it might have been 8-ball overs back when this happened. Victoria, I think it was against New South Wales, chased down 154 in a Masters game. Yeah, that was one of the, probably the best run chase I've ever seen, particularly in a finals game.
I reckon that'd have to be the biggest score I've heard of.
Yeah, again, I think 8-ball overs. So
yeah, 8 balls. Yeah.
That's probably the equivalent of sort of 130-ish
yeah, 125
now.
I was going to say. So yeah, 125, 130.
Yeah. It's been a watchful sort of a start here for Victoria. And great finish there. Probably doesn't need to be much more than a watchful approach in terms of this run chase, unless we see a pair go negative. Yeah, they don't really need to come out all guns blazing.
And that'll be the big ticket item for them is wickets lost. You've got some players that have been dismissed pretty regularly. I've been singing Georgia Peel's praises a lot of this game, but she's actually been dismissed more times than any other player.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, she's been dismissed 9 times. Paris Rafferty also 9 times. So that's quite high for the viewers at home. There are a good majority of players that have only been dismissed around 3 to 4 times. It's quite heavy. Only Stacey Rockcliffe for the Queenslanders, she's been dismissed 10, which is right up there.
Speaking of Rockcliffe, that's her bowling this over, the second over of the innings. So,
if they can keep those wickets in hand, wickets in hand sounds like an outdoor term where you're trying to keep your 10 wickets, but if they can not lose wickets, that'll go a long way. Because the scoreboard continually just ticks over and it accumulates quite quickly. And of course in indoor cricket, if you're not getting out, you have to be scoring runs because you can't be blocking everything because of the third ball rule. So the scoreboard tends to look after itself really, not sure what that was all about. She could have got that and fired it back.
Yeah, it was just a little lollipop.
Yeah, Gillian Chalmers.
Throwing that with any sort of force. Hard to imagine anything other than a run out, assuming it was taken cleanly. Oh, that's a lovely little down-up shot. That was just bunted into the ground.
Little punch.
Yeah, and just right over the head of Chalmers and into the 3 net. Good result. Well, that's a good result as well. A little bit of a miss-hit, I think, but 2 runs in the book, and a great start so far for Victoria. 17 on the board. That's what they needed. Queensland having a slightly longer huddle. There's Eldine Barnard, the skipper. Just perhaps letting her side know that, yeah, they've got a big total on the board, but they don't have to work really hard to defend it.
Yeah, well, the lids have opened and the Greyhounds off for Victoria. They're off to a cracking start, and I think you're quite right. That would have been words very similar to, hey, girls, let's pick this up. We don't want to be that team to let 117 slip when you're looking at a knockout final. So let's not be complacent.
I'm going to have to stand to get a bit more heat back into my body,
mate. That's a lot of respect for a game of indoor cricket to be standing up for it, mate.
Absolutely. I just have to do it. It's a bit cold here inside this building. It's actually been beautiful weather here in Victoria. Lovely sunny days, but not a lot of that sun gets inside an indoor cricket centre, particularly not at night time. So yes. I am a little bit cold. Now, it is third ball. Chalmers doing well after bowling a leg side off the first delivery. Can Victoria see it off? It's called leg side. Will it be out? A diving effort. Wow, that was tight. Good indoor cricket all round. Humphries, despite suspecting it was a leg side and even being called a leg side, kept going.
Yeah.
Pace waited. Set off at the right time, the big diving effort, the throw was correct, gather was clean and very, very tight there on the replay.
Yeah, I think that's a good call from the Mark 1 eyeball. I reckon that was pretty safely home, and very true in terms of Humphries running down to the striker's end. Once you're that committed, because she was on her bike, it's weird looking up at you now that you're standing up, Cameron. I'm used to looking across, but now if I look across, I'm looking at your elbow. Once you're on your bike that early, and she was on her bike extraordinarily early, you might as well keep going because you're committed by that stage. It's a long way to turn around, so you might as well just roll the dice and keep going. And you know what, mate? 27.
Yeah, another great over. 10 runs from
partnership. I'm feeling something in the air, Cam.
Well,
and it's not the chill.
The only thing better than winning convincingly is winning tough.
Oh, absolutely.
So a tough run chase here, and Victoria, a tough, successful run chase here, and Victoria can carry that momentum into a grand final. Despite this good start, I don't think Queensland are going to go anywhere. They'll keep throwing everything they've got at this Victorian side. See, well, even with a great start like this, they've got to maintain it across 4 pairs. Here's Dixon.
And a little bit of bump and argy-bargy in amongst Kirsten Davey getting across. Humphries bumping into her, and there's the first wicket. And the Queenslanders, gee, they're into that huddle pretty quick. They know how desperately they did need that just to get the momentum back. 23 is the total for Victoria, but you just felt that they were starting to skip ahead, the Vics.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, consistency is going to be the key. Cameron Walter, quite right. He's got to do it. Well, you're not doing it. You're commentating. You're not playing. But the players have got to do it right across the 4 batting partnerships. So, yep, a very welcomed wicket if you're a Queenslander. Another chance. Yeah, and again, not really any urgency there from Sharma. She's just in a bit of a training run here at the moment, the number 9 on the 3 line for Queensland, the leg side sweep position, as I call it.
Well, this is just an illustration of how tough this run chase will be for Victoria. They were flying 27 after 3, but just a single wicket pegs them back to, well, a more respectable total, I guess, from a Queensland perspective. They cannot afford to lose wickets. They can afford probably 1 a pair, and they've had their 1.
Words right out of my mouth, because my next comment was going to be, you know, if you score 35, for example, or 30, but you've been dismissed 3 times, you've in essence scored 45 runs off your own stick, which is ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
So with that 26 runs, yes, that's what Victoria have got, but in essence, they've actually hit 31 runs. So every time that there's a wicket, it just compounds that and compounds that. So I think, speaking to Cam Walter's point, if they get out any more than that, that means they're really hitting more than 40 runs off their own bat, which is
pretty tough.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
So that's why I tend to agree with you that really only that one run out is what they can really only afford.
Indeed. As Paris Rafferty and Jordan Watson take to the court for Victoria. The game in the balance. They're still in it, the Vics, and Queensland have got some work to do to put them out of it, as Lilia Vizio makes her way to the back of the court to bowl the 5th over. 26 on the board for Vics in pursuit of Queensland's 117. And with Paris Rafferty back on strike, Ben Brading calls us back to order, and here we go. Finds an edge straight away, and it's a dot ball.
And look, this should be a pretty healthy batting partnership for Victoria. You'd expect them to be getting in the low 20s. Obviously, a knockout final environment here at the moment. They know what they need to do, so they'll be pushing the button a little harder to try and get that score up into the 30s. An appeal.
And not out, but it will be 3rd ball. Vizio bowling a great over to begin with. She's dotted up the Victorian skipper, who's got to put this one away. Does well. It was a tempter, that one. I think Paris Rafferty would have been tempted into having a big shot at that, but checked herself and safely saw off 3rd ball.
Yeah, on another day, that's could have been going for the back net, or at least attempting to, but playing the mature shot leg side, that's good if you're a Victorian. Nice pressure release, particularly after the first couple of deliveries from a Vizio that have been right on the money.
Driven well, weighted well. There was a little chance at the top. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Ooh, yes, no.
False start.
Yeah. I think Paris Rafferty was keen until she saw Blaine Gibbs pick the ball up. very nearly dragged Watson out of her crease. And Rafferty will face the last ball. Turns it around for 2. Not a bad start. To this pair, 8 runs from the over, which is all the better due to the start that they had, 2 dots and a 3rd ball. It'll be Queensland skipper now, Zeldine Barnard. She will bowl to her Victorian counterpart in, well, the formative stages of what's proving to be very interesting run chase here. Anything can happen, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you're enjoying at home. We're back underway. Zeldine Barnard. Paris Rafferty, who advances, ends up checking a shot. It will be a dot. It's fascinating stuff when the game's on such a knife's edge and there's still so much cricket to go, Lowy.
Yeah, that could... Oh, are you thinking what I'm thinking, Cameron Malta?
I'm thinking what you're thinking. The edge down onto the shoe.
Yep. Nothing came of it. 3rd ball opportunity, of course. 2 consecutive dot balls means the score must change. We're not going to be on 34 after this delivery.
Oh, Rafferty's running at a couple. Trying to create an opportunity for her to send one into the backcourt, but the bowling's been too good from Queensland so far, restricting her scoring. Rafferty, however, is able to safely negotiate 3rd ball. Oh, another great delivery.
Yeah, just bowling some very awkward little areas here for the Victorians that the batsmen just aren't too sure if they want to come forward, and when they are coming forward, they're not quite getting to it, and when they come back, they're missing it.
Spot on.
So it's, you know, I mean, that one probably should have been possibly put away, dragging it down, but...
I think that the surface created a little bit more bounce there.
Yeah.
You've talked about it a couple of times.
Because Stacey Rockcliffe, I mean, I know that she's only quite short, but she took that quite very high. It's another 3rd ball opportunity.
Straight back, this should be out. Oh, the flick from Barnard. I'm not sure if she thought she was going to throw to the receiver initially. She just took too long to get rid of it. I thought for sure that'd be out, but Victoria get out of jail. Is that their only get out of jail free card?
Well, it might have to be, because they can't afford too many more wickets, or afford to have some wickets. That over there from Barnard is essentially just as good as a wicket for Queensland.
Yeah.
.1. You know, although they can't afford to be having wickets, the Victorians, they also can't afford for the scoreboard not to be moving.
Yeah.
So 36, chasing 118 for victory. Good over there by Zeldine Barnard. It'll be Kirsten Davey now.
And another dot. You're quite right, Lowy. As the innings wears on, those dots, even individually, if not collectively, become as important as wickets for the Queenslanders. And we see another one, so this will be the third ball scenario in 9 deliveries. So
you don't see that too often.
Yeah, 3 consecutive. So it's .1, .1, .
Give me consistency. Give me the one.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
3 .1s in a row.
I like that.
One for the records.
It's like watching the Keno numbers come up. You know,
yeah. Or bingo.
Yeah, bingo.
It's played through the gap. I wonder if we'll see a change in approach from Rafferty. She's come at the ball a couple of times and hasn't been able to get it away. Maybe she will go, okay, it's not my night. I'm just going to play within the batter's box and see how we go from there. There's driven through the gap, flat for 2. And maybe leave it to someone else to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, look, the thing is that Rafferty does have the ability to go the back net. She does have the ability to hit big. So if she does take that theory on, I think she'll do all right. That one's just hit her below the knee roll if she was wearing pads in an outdoor format, and over is called. Paris Rafferty 7 runs, Jordan Watson 8 runs. Obviously, basic maths tells you this skin the batting partnership is 15 for the total.
And probably about 15 less than where it should be. So they need, 15 runs from where they need to be at the end of the pair. So they need a pretty good over here, at least 10 runs from it, I would think, Lowy.
Yep, I'd be happy for that. So, I mean, 26 was the first batting partnership. Maybe let's pretend they get to 26. It's 52 total, chasing 118. That just means the second and third batting partnerships, instead of getting low 30s, need to get mid to high.
Yeah. Oh, it's through the gap. Nicely played for 3. That certainly helps from Watson. Gee, if they could get even to 30 off this pair rather than 25, that's a big win for Victoria.
Yeah, and this is the bowler to do it too.
There it is. She kept coming, Paris Rafferty, and she's got max value, 7 runs. We questioned whether she'd keep doing it, Lowy. And this time it's come off for her. Here it is on the replay thanks to playcricket.com.au. Advances and a great shot for 7. Valuable runs for Victoria. It's up, falls safe. 2 runs. Interesting in the response from Queensland there. You saw that field change? Will they do that to Rafferty as well?
I think Rafferty's just going to replay the videotape, mate, and she's going to come down. I was saying just before she hit the 7, I was saying Blaine Gibbs is the bowler to do it too, because she does just float it up there and it hangs in the air for a bit.
Came again. It'll be 3. A chance though.
Yeah, Rafferty's got Blaine Gibbs in the eye line, in the sights here. This is really important. Rotate the strike here because you want Rafferty on for at least one more dig at Gibbs. So, rotate
definitely.
this. 2 deliveries left. You want Rafferty on strike for the last one.
Oh, through the gap again for 3. Watson's been playing that shot well on the onside, just continues to find that range. And, she's got 8 runs from the over. Paris Rafferty's got 10 so far and 1 ball to come. Gee, this is a crucial delivery. Here's Gibbs to Rafferty. She's come again. Oh, it falls safe. It'll just be a single. What an exciting over that was, ladies and gentlemen. 19 runs from it, if you don't mind.
Biggie.
And that is exactly what Victoria needed. They get to 60 runs and, they're past halfway at the halfway stage. Boy, have we got a run chase here in store for you, ladies and gentlemen. Here in the 21 and under women's preliminary final, it's Victoria up against Queensland, needing 118 runs for victory. They find themselves on 60 after 8 overs. Gary Lowe, what do you make of that?
I make that out to be absolutely stunning performance. That's what I make out for that. Particularly that last over, they really got a hold of Blaine Gibbs. Looking forward at this next batting partnership, though, this is where things are going to get a little bit rocky here for the Vics. Jessica Adams averaging 7.8. Pereira's averaging 6.17. So you're looking at about a 13 total here. The previous 4 batters that have come out, they've all averaged kind of 12 and above. So, they're looking at the mid-20s as it is. We quite often talk about getting your last batting partnership at least a chance to win. So Victoria have at least tried to do that with the first 4. They've put the heavy artillery in first. This is where the game's going to be won or lost. And these 2 batters, they really need to dig in and perform better than what they have in all the previous games coming into this one.
Well, they need 20. They need 20 runs, 20 plus.
Yeah.
At least. I'm talking at least.
Because that'll give the last batting partnership 37 to run with.
Yeah.
So these girls, because I'm not expecting them to hit bulk runs, so the only flip side of that is don't get out.
Yep.
That's the trade-off. So Jess Adams, she's been dismissed 5 times, and Pereira's been dismissed 7. 7's on the higher side of the scale. So if they can hold their wicket, I reckon that's aim of the game. Don't go doubles also, girls. Just relax.
Oh, yeah. So Avizio, the bowler's been doing a good job so far. I imagine Queensland will be tempted to throw the kitchen sink at this pair, given the statistics you've just given us, Lowy. Oh, a chance here, the throw, it's high. See, this is the value in my mind of attacking early in the way that Victoria have done. All of a sudden, Queensland are under pressure.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that this is statistically the pair likely to score the least amount of runs.
Yeah.
Queensland suddenly find themselves in a position where, we might lose this. So the throws go a bit higher, the slaps go a bit wider.
Yeah.
The ball gets dropped a bit shorter. All of these things start creeping into the game, and all of a sudden the statistically lower pair becomes 25 runs, and it's game on. Last ball for Avisio. More chance. Oh, the bail did not come off, so I'm not sure if that's hit the plate or maybe even the stumps, but the bail certainly wasn't lit up until she was passed, and it may have even come off courtesy of the keeper. Here it is. What can we see? It looks like it might have come off the keeper and hit the stumps there.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Pardon me, possibly. So that's a good start from Victoria, 9.
Yeah, brilliant start.
That's good. That's really, really good.
Big
well
runs.
done, girls or ladies.
Chalmers will bowl now. Her first over went for 10. Although it did include a couple of dot balls, so the game's on a knife edge. Don't you just love it, Lowy? Fantastic indoor cricket action.
I told you there was something in the air with this one, mate.
Yeah.
I could feel it.
Finds the edge. Scamper through for a single. That's all they've got to do.
And I mean, I don't want to pick a team to kind of cheer for, but these two particular batters, I want to see them do well. I reckon it'd be a wonderful story to see the girls that are least likely to score the runs.
It's almost through.
Blaine Gibbs, good fielding.
Yeah, amazing pressure fielding there from Blaine Gibbs. Didn't quite get all the meat on that one, Pereira. So it wasn't travelling at a rate of knots, but Gibbs still had a lot of work to do, Lowy.
Yeah, she did really well, moved across to her right, and then also her teammates backing her up because it almost went onto the 3 net. So this is good from the Victorian girls. Pereira and Adams building nicely. Keep up the good work, ladies. This is good. Victoria, they're on the sidelines. You might be able to see them just off to the right of screen. They are up and about. There's a bit of belief in the air all of a sudden for Victoria.
Through the gap, nicely played. See, what's interesting for me, Lowy, about the statistics you've talked about for these guys as a pair on average, they look as calm as.
They do.
They look like this is a training run. Isn't that amazing? Pressure of a sudden death final. And they look as cool as ice. Chalmers with 2 balls remaining. This will be a chance. Oh, it's a great piece of fielding there from Frisk. But again, they're safe, are the Vicks. A single with 1 to come.
Yeah, look again, and it's all about that wicket management. Heaven forbid I put the kiss of death on them, but they haven't lost a wicket thus far, and that's what's paying dividends for them.
Oh, what a shot that is. She finds the back net, courtesy of the side net, and another 4 runs to the total. And check it out, ladies and gentlemen, 20 runs on the board for this pair with 2 overs remaining in this partnership, 6 overs remaining in the match, and the score is on 80 runs. Amazing indoor cricket. We hope you are enjoying it as much as we are. There's still a lot of chapters to be written in this novel, let me tell you.
Yeah, this is starting to get pretty serious, mate. I don't know if you've realised that, but things are really starting to get serious. Now, I don't want to look too far forward as we watch this first delivery from Shaq Frisk, leg side. That'll be warmly appreciated for the Victorians. Coming in next, you've got Georgia Peel, and you've got the scoreboard over there, but it must be Julia Carruthers.
Yes.
Who'll be coming in. So Georgia Peel averages 16.25, the highest in the team, and Carruthers 12. So those girls really should be getting up. I mean, if you're going to go by raw numbers, you're looking at 28, which is a 30, and you've got Georgia Peel, who's by far the best batter, 130 runs from 8 games in the tournament thus far. Mate, if they can get in with a sniff, and at the moment they'll be having more than a sniff, we could be watching a massive overthrow here. This would be beautiful. Chance. Here, oh, that would have been gone. I was about to say hit, but it just missed.
Oh, I don't know that it would have been gone. Certainly would have been tight.
Would have been very tight.
But again, so Frisk starting that over with 2 leg sides. This is a result of the decision to attack early from Victoria. The pressure is starting to creep into Queensland's game as we see another leg side. We're not seeing the direct hits. You're starting to see them start to question whether they can win this game. this run chase thus far, perfectly constructed from Victoria.
And look at them go here. 28 this batting partnership. There's still 8 deliveries remaining in the third batting pair, Cameron.
Yeah, Queensland have to turn it around. They just need to start taking some wickets again. I say just like that's nothing. Well, there it is. It looks like nothing. And that pumps them back up. A massive wicket. Gee, they needed that. These two were looking rock solid and finally won through the defences.
That's absolutely huge. Put that down in the little black book for the game changers. As we watch this replay come through, hitting the top of off and just not getting across to it is Adams. No more wickets. That's the order of the day. If you're a Victorian, if you're a Queenslander, well, another dose, thank you, please. That is the over. 23 for the batting partnership, 83 for the total. 6 deliveries. Big 6 deliveries coming up. We know there's some firepower coming in for Victoria in the last batting partnership. We're at 83 at the moment for the total. So as long as there's no wickets here, for mine, that's the single most important thing for Victoria.
Well, I think,
no
Lowy, with the work that they've done in those first 2 overs, 20 from it, they lost that wicket in that over and still got 3 from it.
Yeah.
They can get away with 0 here.
Yeah.
In this over, and they've done their job.
And good bowling option here with Blaine Gibbs because they understand, I mean, with the greatest respect to Blaine Gibbs, but she did get carted around Casey Stadium there in that over of hers, the first one. 19 came from it. Understanding that there's 2 strong batters coming in next. They don't want Gibbs bowling to those strong batters. Bowling now.
And doing a good job so far as well. Backed up well by a field as well. That first delivery was a good shot from Pereira, but kept to a single. Even saving 1 run here and there is going to be so vital now. 4 balls remain in the partnership. The game is anyone's. And there it is. Blaine Gibbs does the job for Queensland, and maybe they've just got their noses back in front, Lowy.
They have, and that's just not the right shot to play. Appreciate that. I mean, it was a tempting delivery. There's no doubt about it, and that's why Adams has gone for it. And, she hits a 7. She's a legend. She gets out, not so much. It's a real Rockstar Diamonds kind of play. But I just think with the state of the game, probably wasn't the shot. Just needs to consolidate here. 3 deliveries, navigate through them.
Chance at the top, a good piece of fielding, but Adams has done well, and despite the loss of these 2 late wickets, these 2 still looking ice cold, Lowy.
Yeah, nothing's phasing them.
Yeah, they look mature beyond their years. This is the sort of steel and metal you need if you want to win games like this. Queensland showing a little bit of the same. The game is still anybody's. 2 to come. Fended away, almost happy with a dot. Queensland fighting their way back. It was looking all Victoria, Lowy.
Yeah, things were really starting to look scary for the Queenslanders. They have fought their way back in, maybe with their nose in front. Big last delivery here.
Huge. Advanced, does well. Tempted to run again, not sure why, but they'll take 2 from the last delivery. And they've put on a partnership of 22. It has kept Victoria in the game and has given them every chance of putting together a pretty significant run chase here. So they need 36 runs from the final pair. It'll have to be the 2nd highest partnership of the game if Victoria are to keep their tournament alive against Queensland. It is the 21 and under women's prelim final. The Vics and the Queenslanders. Queensland scoring 117, Victoria 82 with 4 overs to come. Gary Lowe, who's it going to be? I'm putting you on it right now. Who's winning the game?
Queensland. But the indoor cricketer in me wants Victoria.
So is it the Queenslander in you that's predicting Queensland, or is that's just what your head's telling you?
Yeah, my head's telling me. Jeez. My head's telling me Queensland. The stats kind of tell me Victoria. But I just think Queensland, after the scare that they've had there in that 3rd batting partnership, they'll turn it on here. So I think Queensland will get home, but it's going to be tight.
This over's so crucial. The Queensland skipper bowling it herself. Zeldine Barnard, that first ball safely negotiated for 2 by Julia Carruthers, her partner. Your player to watch, Georgia Peel. Leaves it leg side again. The pressure still there for Queensland. They know the job is not done.
Georgia Peel, mate, she is on. Like, look at her down the other end there. She's batting with authority, hitting the bat, hard into the concrete. Big, loud, confident call.
Stumbles out of the crease, and it's a gift wicket. Peel can't believe it.
No, Victoria, no.
And gee, that makes it a little bit harder. And you just see there, Carruthers just kept going, and I understand why. Peel's hit it and come out. I'm not sure if there was actually a yes or a no call, but from Carruthers' perspective, she sees Peel coming, so she went. And unfortunately for Victoria, Peel turned around and went back. Big wicket for Queensland. Oh, there it is again! 2 wickets in 2 balls. The Queensland skipper doing the job. Almost identical deliveries, almost identical in response from Victoria, and certainly an identical response in the scorebook. Gary Lowe.
Yes, I was just about to say I was going to let that ball play out, but I was going to say if there's another wicket, I think that's the game iced. I can't see Victoria coming back from a second wicket. It's now fallen. Very, very difficult from here. I think Queensland have just got home in the Zeldine Barnard over.
And that'll be out 2, 3 balls, a hat-trick for the Queensland skipper. And that would be a nail in the coffin. We thought for sure that Victoria had done enough. But Queensland responding with a hat-trick from their skipper, 1 ball to come.
And do you know what? I mean, I'm not going to say that it's disappointing because the players are out there doing their absolute best, there's no doubt. But that third batting partnership have played out of their skin to get to 22 runs. You know, for mine, that's the single most impressive batting partnership out of the whole 8 that we're going to see here today, because the players did more than what they usually do, and I thought it was a very steely 22 runs. Those girls have got there. They've given the last batting partnership a chance to win, the partnership that's meant to be scoring the big runs, and they've come out here and we're looking at -8. The indoor cricket gods are just absolutely terrible.
They are. Well, 44 runs required from 3 overs now. I think we'll find... Oh, no, it's out again. The wheels have fallen off of Victoria, and Queensland have found something and have turned this game around on a dime.
Indoor cricket is cruel. It is cruel and terrible. The Vics, they have gone from absolute exhilaration. They're riding the wave. They're thinking, you beauty, we could get home on this one. Only to find out the wave's one of those big dumpers, mate, straight into the sand, head first.
Ooh, batting that too, I think.
Wait for the call. Not a very confident score call by the umpire there.
Well,
I know
they don't know.
That.
Yeah, when they don't say it.
Yell it out, baby.
He's on the money. It's in the book as 2. What can Peel do? Here's Rockcliffe. Beaten.
Well, that Zeldine Barnard over, hasn't that just been the one to bring it home? That's huge. Her first over, how did she go? You've got better eyeballs than myself too.
Yeah,
so
dot,
that's right.
one,
It was
dot,
that
dot,
big,
1, yeah.
I mean, that's the game.
Yeah.
A real captain's, can't say captain's knock because she's not batting, but a real captain's bowling performance, I suppose you'd say.
Well, the key of that, though, as well, is not just the 2 overs that she's produced. So she's come up with 3 for -6, but when she bowled them.
Yeah.
So that dot, dot, 1, dot, dot, 1 was early in a pair that ended up scoring 34. So they've scored 34, only 2 of them came from her. Then she started this pair and absolutely turned the game around. Brilliant. That's the final ball from Rockcliffe. -1 from the over. They'll start the penultimate over of the match on 3rd ball. And the game is lost for Victoria.
Yeah, it's gone, unfortunately. And they were in with a chance, a red-hot chance. But, you're quite right. It's the game management that's important as well. And I couldn't agree with you more. The selection of Zeldine Barnard to bowl, but specifically the times when she has bowled, it has been genius. I think that was the term you used. It is absolutely genius. We're talking Einstein stuff. It's beautiful. And Queensland, I think they should think themselves rather somewhat lucky because they could have quite easily lost this one.
Well, Peel not giving up, sends one into the back court for 4. Einstein-level bowling strategy, you think?
Yeah,
E equals MC wicket.
Yeah, that's smart. I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
And look, Georgia Peel are the non-strikers, and emotions starting to get to her. I think that at the end of this game, she's going to be pretty upset.
Oh, look, you can't fault. It's been a long tournament.
It has.
Coming down to a knife's edge. It's it's tough. And this has been a pressure-filled game. It's been full of nothing other than pressure, and it's how they not only have responded to that that's determined the result, but it's how they respond to it after the result that will shape their careers as sports people, but also as people.
Yeah, 100%, and that's why we love sports so much, is the theatre of it. You know, we love seeing the champions, we love seeing the heroes on the other side of the coin. Not that there has been any today, but we love seeing the villains. But we also love seeing the heartbreak. Yeah. You know, it's all part of it. It's like the novel you can't put down, and it's, metaphorically speaking, been a wonderful read today. What a brilliant game. Still not over yet with 8 deliveries to go, but the game has gone away from Victoria, and we'll see some crazy scenes in 8 deliveries time.
Well, again, they're certainly not giving up, the Vics. And can you blame them? Sudden death. They've got to throw everything they've got left into the last 7 deliveries and get, 34 from them.
Yeah, that's pretty tricky.
It is. Driven straight. It'll be a single. That brings the 15th over to an end. Victoria move to 85, and 6 balls now separate Queensland from a place in the grand final against South Australia.
Yeah, and isn't that a scary thought as well for Queensland? I mean, I'm sure they're not thinking that it's scary, but for us as the viewers, it's a pretty daunting proposition for them. South Australia have been really dominant throughout this week, winning 6 games, only dropping to 2, and their for and against is massive. A positive differential of 217. The only one of the teams to have a positive differential, in fact. So, have Queensland played their final today? I guess that remains to be seen. We'll have to wait until tomorrow.
Well, with the exception of some key overs that have ended up winning the game for Queensland, it actually hasn't been that good a performance from them in the field. Certainly not with the ball. So, if I'm Katrina Teskey, I'd be pointing out that they've still got a ways to improve, and will need to in the final. All of that said, a win's a win.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ugly wins are still wins.
Yeah. So 4 to come now. Just a single. It's a cruel way to lose when you're so close, isn't it, Lowy?
Yeah, it is, and I think you mentioned it as well. Although we didn't think it was going to be Queensland with the gritty win. We thought if it was someone...
another wicket
goes. We thought if it was someone who was going to get the gritty and hard-worked win, it was going to be Victoria. But it's almost turned out the opposite.
Yeah.
The team that should be cruising along had to actually dig deep and have that win. So, I mean, you look at these Queenslanders now. They are as happy as 8 happy things. But, 4 overs ago...
Oh, yeah.
There was a funeral out there.
Yep, under the pump. There's 2. That'll, barring a no ball, be Georgia Peel's last ball of the tournament. And this will be Carruthers and Victoria's last ball of the tournament. Here is Katrina Dixon. And they finish with a wicket, the Queenslanders, and what a way to punctuate what is an amazing comeback victory from the Queenslanders. They were staring down the barrel of a defeat courtesy of a big run chase from Victoria, but a massive over from Zeldine Barnard turned it around, and Queensland have taken their place in the grand final against South Australia in the 21 and under women's grand final. Gary Lowe, what a game.
Oh, that was a cracker. That was an absolutely brilliant game, and you're looking at Georgia Peel here. At the moment on your screens, you're looking at a very jubilant Queensland side, but I've got my eyes fixed on Georgia Peel, and she's hurting, metaphorically speaking, and emotionally. Looks like she's got a bit of a lower back type issue, and looking at this right now, you've got Queensland on top of the world at the minute, and then Victoria kind of talking about and lamenting on what was. But certainly brilliant theatre. I hope you're all paying customers at home. We certainly enjoyed it here at Casey's Stadium.
Very good. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Queensland have advanced. That is the tournament for Victoria. Congratulations to them on a wonderful tournament. Commiserations today. Our congratulations, of course, to Queensland and to South Australia for their appearance in the grand final. Keep your eye on indoor.cricket.com.au and all your social media for the results as they continue to come from Casey Stadium here in Victoria. Until next time, I'm Cameron Walter alongside Gary Lowe. And Gary, thanks for your company.
Always a pleasure, my friend, anytime. You know that.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for yours at home and for Cricket Australia, Sportscast Australia, and indeed everyone here at the tournament. I'm Cameron Walter. Thanks for watching.